my name is Katie Kopasz, and I would like to present to you today the ethnobotany of the Native American tribes that are indigenous to the mountain and plains regions of Colorado. I've always been interested in the ancient people's use of plants, especially for those as medicines. I find Native American tribe ethnobotany especially interesting, not only because of their traditional use of plants, but also their spiritual connection and respect for them. I chose the Colorado region and the tribes that live there because I wanted to learn more about the plants where I live in close proximity and those I come in contact with in my day-to-day life. What is ethnobotany? It is defined as the study of a region's plants and their practical uses through the traditional knowledge of a local culture and people. Richard Irvin Schultes is often referred to as the father of ethnobotany. He's quoted as saying, "Ethnobotany simply means investigating plants used by societies in various parts of the world." His most well-known work was conducted while he spent time in the Amazon with indigenous tribes, and he was particularly interested in a secret mixture called curare, and it was used by the natives for hunting by tipping their darts with the poison, and whenever they would hit their prey, they would be paralyzed. He was able to learn what the secret plants used in this mixture were, and that allowed the active compounds to later be identified and used even in muscle relaxants and for modern medicine. Schultes also studied the ritual use of peyote in Native American tribes. One such tribe with well-documented use of peyote in religion is the Kiowa tribe, whose ancestral range is in the Colorado region. Why is ethnobotany important? The science of ethnobotany has changed over time. It began as the acquiring of ethnobotanical knowledge from native people worldwide. It's evolved from just learning about traditional medicinal, cultural, and spiritual uses of plants into the application of that knowledge. Modern ethnobotany mixes continual learning about traditional uses of plants, but applies the knowledge through modern technological capabilities. It is particularly important in the area of pharmaceuticals and its impact on human health through medicine. Modern technology is used to identify important plant compounds, isolate and even synthesize, and then research is possible for those effects on a wide range of biological processes. As I was researching, I was thinking about the idea of how natural checks and balances evolve regionally in biological systems. The triangle is an example of a biological system. In this example, Colorado is the region where native humans, plants, and pathogens all reside for many years and evolve together. I have observed in other biological systems, say insects for instance, that are native to the same region tend to have natural predators and therefore don't become too big of a problem. If a pest insect is relocated outside of its native area, where it doesn't have any natural predators, it can become a big problem for the plants growing there. I am hoping you guys will help me examine a few questions I have on this idea and keep them in mind during the presentation. Do you think that this idea could be applied to other biological systems, such as the interactions and evolved checks and balances between the pathogens of humans and plants within a region? Do plants or humans native to the same region evolve to form resistance against certain pathogens? If the plants are used as medicine for humans against those pathogens, are people with ancestry from that region going to tolerate treatments from those plants maybe better than those whose ancestors are from another region? Do you think that this could be helpful in choosing what plant compounds to research for treatment of specific pathogens for specific groups of people for developing effective pharmaceutical drugs? November is Native American Heritage Month, so it's a fitting time to honor their contributions to the medical field. Many tribes were relatively skilled in the medical field using herbs for ailments and carried out many medical procedures. Some of the tribe's knowledge was remarkably advanced and humane in comparison to that of their European counterparts at the time. Native Americans had effective anesthetics while Europeans did not. An estimated 120 modern medications that are used today came from plant extracts, and 75% of those are estimated to have been found by by studying uses of plants in traditional indigenous medicine. The Native American philosophy of medicine and health does not solely focus on the health of the body, but rather it is more of a process of staying strong mentally, spiritually, and physically, focusing on the individual's journey to fully understand their true spirit and how it interconnects with everything in the natural world. The Native American medicine wheel was sacred to many Native American tribes, such as the Arapaho, Cheyenne, Shoshone, Apache, and others. Many sacred things come in fours in Native American religions, such as those on the wheel. The medicine wheel for health represents the mind, body, spirit, and emotions. If any one of the four aspects of self becomes out of balance, it has a significant negative impact on all the others as well. Traditional healers focus on bringing all four aspects back into balance through use of medicinal herbs, traditional therapies, and prayer to achieve optimum health and prevent and treat illnesses. Native American medicine also focuses on the interconnectedness and importance of individuals' well being to the health of their community and of mankind as a whole. Four plants, in particular, were also of religious significance to many tribes. The most sacred was tobacco, which was used for smoking and incense in tandem with prayers. The smoke is believed to carry the prayers. Sage and sweetgrass were also used for incense. Sage leaves were also rubbed into the skin in many spiritual cleansing ceremonies, as well as having a medicinal antibacterial property. Cedar was often the choice for fires during the ceremonies. Before the plants were harvested, they were often given thanks and prayer. The idea that science and spirituality are separate is a fairly recent concept in human history. In the modern era of science and technology, religion often felt threatened by science, feeling that it might disprove aspects of their faith. And modern science felt threatened by religion, feeling as though blind faith might include ignoring newly proven scientific fact. Think about what you know about the Catholic Church and how they treated Galileo and other scientists of the era, and how the Church worked to suppress the progression of new discoveries and sharing of scientific information. And even to this day, many religious sectors negatively view the theory of evolution. Research shows that there's a larger divide between science and spirituality in the United States than there are in many other countries. Native Americans and most other ancient cultures did not differentiate between science and spirituality. They believed that every part of the heavens and earth possessed spiritual life and that all are interconnected. Modern research is starting to show that a reconciliation between science and spirituality and emphasizing the mind-body connection during medical treatments can foster better health outcomes. Modern pharmaceuticals and supplements and herbal treatments have advantages and disadvantages. Modern pharmaceuticals are made from isolated compounds after extensive research, development, and human trials, and are usually very effective for specific types of ailments, and the side effects and risk-benefit analysis is well defined. Some drawbacks to modern pharmaceuticals include their strong potency, which can cause serious side effects, and the enormous cost of processing and manufacturing drugs can make the cost to the consumer very high. Also, many compounds that could be helpful to human health ailments may never make it to market as a pharmaceutical drug due to the high cost of processing and manufacturing. Some advantages to herbal treatments or supplements include the fact that they might be more affordable and could have less side effects because they tend to be not quite as potent as pharmaceutical grade drugs. Many herbal practitioners also believe in the benefits of using the whole plant rather than just one isolated compound, often called the entourage effect, and basically means all the active compounds in a plant can work together when taken for health. Some disadvantages to supplements and herbal treatments could include less potent than pharmaceutical drugs, and they also can pose a risk for people who are not experts in self-diagnosed medical issues and are not fully aware of proper dosing and interaction information. Probably the best approach for human health is most likely an integrated approach, which includes a combination of modern pharmaceuticals, supplements, and herbal treatments, and all done with under recommendation and supervision of medical experts. Information presented to me through this course and reading for this project has made me realize there are many plant compounds that can help treat many human health issues. Many of these compounds have been utilized for thousands of years in traditional medicine, which has served as a starting point for modern technology to research these compounds and develop many pharmaceutical grade drugs. However, only a fraction of plants and their compounds have been fully researched and developed into modern drugs due to the lengthy and expensive process of doing so. I feel that many answers to human health issues are just waiting to be discovered by modern science through plant based medicines, but may already be available in some traditional form. Many modern societies and their scientific medical communities are starting to come full circle and recognizing the value in traditional uses of plants for healthy living and even the value of positive outcomes related to positive thinking, prayer, meditation, spirituality. We as a society can still learn a lot from the Native American cultures and ethnobotany from the Colorado region, as well as many others worldwide, and couple it with the use of modern technology and medical treatments in order for us to live a balanced and healthy life and utilize a more holistic style of healthcare. Mark Plotkin, a famous ethnobotanist and rainforest conservation advocate, is quoted saying, "No medical system has all the answers. No shaman that I've worked with has the equivalent of a polio vaccine, and no dermatologist that I've been to could cure a fungal infection as effectively and inexpensively as some of my Amazonian mentors. It shouldn't be the doctor versus the witch doctor. It should be the best aspects of all medical systems combined in a way which makes healthcare more effective and more affordable for all." Now I would like to highlight some of the commonly used plants by indigenous inhabitants of the land area that is now considered Colorado. Those tribes included in the Colorado region are the Apaches, Arapaho, Cheyenne, Pueblo, Shoshone, and Ute, and a couple of them that just sometimes extended into Colorado include the Comanche, Kiowa, and Navajo tribes. This is a map of the regional groupings of Native American tribes in North America. As you can see, three of these regions converge in what is now Colorado, the Great Basin, Plains, and Southwest regions. Some of the tribes lived in more permanent settlements, such as the Pueblo Indians, while others were nomadic, like the Cheyenne and Kiowa tribes. The tribes from the Colorado region are a very culturally and regionally diverse bunch. This map shows approximately what is now the Colorado region, and it shows many of the ranges of the Native Americans who lived in the area and how they overlapped and extended way beyond the boundaries of the Colorado region. As you can see, the Ute occupy the largest area in the Colorado region, mostly the Rocky Mountains and Western Slope areas. Some of the Plains tribes' range extends way beyond the boundaries of Colorado as well. The Kiowa extend east into Kansas and down to Oklahoma. The Apache just barely come into southeastern Colorado and range down into Texas and Oklahoma. The Pueblo and Navajo are on the very southern border of Colorado, with the majority of their range being south of there. The Arapaho Range is most of the eastern plains of Colorado, but also goes way up north into Wyoming and probably the Dakotas a little bit. The ethnobotany of the tribes from the Colorado region is going to be very diverse because of such wide ranges. Not only will the tribes be using plants from the Colorado mountain and plains regions, but they'll also be utilizing plants that they're going to come into contact with when they're outside of that area as well. In addition to the wide ranges of the native peoples of Colorado, the extreme elevation and temperature differences in locations throughout the state and neighboring regions add to the wide diversity of flora and fauna available to be utilized by the indigenous tribes. Native groups chose plants for their usefulness for medicine, food, ritual significance, or cultural purposes. I chose to highlight a few commonly known plants that are utilized by Colorado native tribes. I picked a few that are actually native to Colorado, such as yarrow, chokecherry, and sage. I chose a couple that are native to regions that aren't too far from Colorado, such as echinacea and peyote. Echinacea is native to the eastern United States, and peyote is native to South Texas and Mexico. And I chose a couple that aren't native to North America at all, but were unintentionally brought here by European and Asian immigration. When they began to thrive and grow in the region, Native Americans realized their usefulness and were quickly utilized. Some examples of these are the willow and the dandelion. Achillea millefolium, also known as yarrow, is native to North America. Its name comes from Achilles from Homer's Iliad because of the plant's ability to stop the bleeding of injured warriors. The second part of its name, millefolium, means of 1,000 leaves. Yarrow is in the sunflower plant family. It is common across most of North America and was widely used by the Native American tribes and has a multitude of uses in traditional medicine. The Cheyenne translation for yarrow is cough medicine, while the Navajo translation is life medicine. The parts of the plants most commonly used are both the flowers and the leaves. Yarrow is probably most well known for its ability to stop bleeding, but it was also used for many other ailments as well, such as salves for sores and cuts, chewed for toothache, used to help with skin conditions. It also has diuretic properties and was used in the cauterization of wounds. The Cheyenne drank it as tea for respiratory illnesses and nausea. Some tribes used an infusion that was poured into the ears, or they would macerate leaves and place them in the ears for earaches. Modern uses are much the same. The alkaloid alkaline tends to stop bleeding, and other compounds have also shown promise in research for anti-inflammatory and antispasmodic properties. There are many species of sage in North America. I'm going to focus on the Artemisia species, which are sometimes confused with the Salvia species, also going by the name of sage. Artemisia is in the sunflower family. Worldwide, there are an estimated 200 to 400 species of sage, with the majority of them in North America. In Colorado, depending on the source, there are around 12 native species. All species were most likely used medicinally and ceremoniously by tribes native to Colorado. The Apache translation of sage is burning stick, easy breaking. Sage is considered one of the 4 sacred plants in many traditional Native American medicine, and it is often used as incense, and the leaves are rubbed on the skin during cleansing ceremonies. 2 species of sage that are commonly found in Colorado are Artemisia frigida and Artemisia ludoviciana. Traditional uses of sage are too numerous to list. Some of the medicinal uses include treating gastrointestinal problems, respiratory problems, fevers, dry skin, bacterial infections, fungal infections, headaches, cauterizing wounds, diarrhea, pinworms, roundworms, menstrual cramps, and spider bites. The spiritual uses of sage was also very prominent in Native tradition, and plants were very abundant in the Colorado region. Sage was always a part of peyote meetings and curing ceremonies and used as incense for smudging. Rubbing of the leaves against the skin was done to protect against evil influences in ceremony. Modern research is showing that sage has antimicrobial and antifungal properties. North American Artemisia species are related to Artemisia annua, from which a successful anti-malarial drug has been derived. Also related is Artemisia absinthium, which absinthe spirits are made from, but are illegal in many countries, including the United States. Chokecherry, or Prunus virginiana, is a native of the Rocky Mountain region and most of North America, excluding some of the southern states. Chokecherry is an important food source and a food preservative for many of the Native American tribes, as are other berries related to chokecherries. Chokecherries are named as such because of their bitter and sour taste. Some compounds in chokecherries can actually be poisonous if eaten in large quantities, but are therapeutic in small amounts. Anthocyanins in chokecherries have been known to sicken or kill livestock, but don't typically cause trouble because animals know to stay away. Chokecherry was used as medicine to treat high blood pressure and urinary tract infections and aid stomach and digestive issues. It was also an important food source, and it was often cooked and dried or used as a preservative for pemmican. Pemmican is a mixture of meat and berries, which is then dried, and it is very important to many tribes because it was preserved and could be eaten at a later date. For some tribes, pemmican had special significance because it showed the important connection between men and women. The men would typically hunt for the meat, and the women would typically gather the chokecherries that were used in pemmican. Echinacea is native to central and eastern United States. Echinacea angustifolia may have been native to the very eastern edge of the plains of Colorado. It is a coneflower in the sunflower family that also goes by the names snakeroot, purple coneflower, and scurvy fruit. It is the most widely used medicinal plant of the Plains Native American tribes. The parts of the plant that were most commonly used were the roots, but the leaves were also sometimes used. Echinacea is still widely used and touted as an immune system booster and is one of the most popular dietary supplements and is a common ingredient in herbal teas. Echinacea was traditionally used as a pain reliever for sore throats, toothaches, external aches, snake bites, insect bites, frostbite, and colic. The Apache translation for echinacea is tooth gum medicine. The Cheyenne often used the tea for sore mouth and gums. The Kiowa would chew the whole flower to alleviate a sore throat. Cheyenne tribes used echinacea during the sun dance to stimulate production of saliva. The plant compounds that are most active in echinacea are echinacosides. Research shows that echinacea does possess some antiseptic and anti-cancerous properties as well as stimulating the immune system. Echinacea possesses insecticidal properties as well, and echinolone is the active ingredient in some modern pesticides. Peyote is a small spineless cactus that is native to Texas and Mexico in the Rio Grande Valley. North American tribes have used peyote for over 5,000 years. Many Plains tribes, such as the Kiowa, Cheyenne, Apache, and Ute, ingested the hallucinogenic plant for the sun ceremony and religion uses. Peyote is illegal in the U.S. except for those who use it for religious purposes and are members of the Native American Church. For a time, the U.S. Army even used peyote as a painkiller during the 1800s. Traditional use of peyote includes medical uses for pain relief for major medical issues such as laceration, snake bites, or fracture. It is also a very strong emetic. Peyote was mostly used in a spiritual sense for ceremonies. Fresh or dried buttons or roots from the plants could be ingested or made into tea to produce the hallucinogenic effects that reportedly enhance perceptions of colors and sounds and create a sense of well-being and help Native Americans attain a higher level of consciousness and allow them to receive spiritual revelations. The Apache ceremony typically takes place in a teepee and lasts all night, during which time incense is burned and the night is spent around a fire singing and drumming and the rubbing of sage leaves on the skin to help ward off evil as they meditate and pray. The plant compounds that create the psychoactive effect on the human body are alkaloids, primarily mescaline, which mimics norepinephrine. Dandelion is native to Europe, but was introduced to North America by European immigrants and is now widely distributed throughout all of North America and the Rocky Mountain region. It is in the sunflower plant family. Native Americans quickly recognized the value of the dandelion and began to collect it for food and medicine. Traditionally, the leaves of the dandelion were eaten as food. They are rich in vitamin A and C. They are still used in salads as food today. Traditional treatments included tonic from the roots for digestive issues, tea from the leaves for heartburn. It was also used as a diuretic. It can soothe and detoxify the liver and help with other digestive issues. Yellow dye is from the flower, and magenta dye is obtained from the roots. Notable plant compounds in the dandelion are taraxerol, lutein, and inulin. Research shows that dandelions have anti-inflammatory and anti-cancerous properties and can stimulate bile production and help prevent gallstones. Inulin promotes microflora growth. Willow species are not native to North America, they are native to Asia. Many species now grow in the Rocky Mountain region and are found mostly near waterways. Parts of the plant that are commonly used are bark for medicine and dye. The wood has many important uses in traditional life, such as for building and making furniture, mats, baskets, stirrups, drums, straps, teepee construction, and more. The willow is also related to the aspen and the cottonwood, which are native to the Rocky Mountain region, and it has similar medicinal properties. Salicin is one of the main active compounds found in willows that is also the main ingredient in aspirin, which is one of the most important influential medicinal plant compounds in modern medicine. Medicinal uses in traditional medicine include treatment of headache, neuralgia, and fever. It has awesome antiseptic and analgesic properties. Poultices made from the bark are often used to treat wounds. Ashes from burning willow was made into a medicine for sore eyes. Tea was brewed to help with diarrhea. In the Sundance ceremony, participants often wore stems wrapped around ankles and wrists or their neck to symbolize the quenching of thirst of the dancers due to the willow's tendency to typically grow near waterways. Modern-day applications for the plant compounds found in willows include inflammation reduction and pain-relieving properties. Medicines derived from willows with anti-clotting properties are very useful in heart attack prevention. Research has also shown some anti-cancerous properties. I'd like to finish off my presentation with a quote from Mourning Dove, who was the first Native American woman to publish a book. Everything on earth has a purpose, every disease an herb to cure it, and every person a mission. This is the Indian theory of existence. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.